Hi everyone, it's Jason from Earl of Fife Games, and I wanted to start a kind of a video blog series and a blog series to talk about some things. And I think this is a good medium for me, and I wanted to do this for my newsletter and subscribers to the Earl of Fife YouTube channel as well. So this is not going to be all about heroes and hardships. It's going to be more broadly. You can use it for any system, kind of like just kind of like talking about games in general. And this particular video, I want to talk about using backgrounds in games. So we think about a lot of times you hear this kind of meme-ish thing about people making like 10-page backgrounds and of their level one character of being like some sort of historic badass and they can't even fight a dire rat or something. Um, and there's some truth to that sometimes, but we can extrapolate some kind of real ways we can use different backgrounds in different ways as a player and a GM. So I'm a big fan of using backgrounds um, as a player, and even more as a GM to bring that player and their character into the story, give them kind of more buy-in to what's happening, either like some larger campaign goal, um, or just using their backgrounds as pretty much the only thing that's going on. Um, so as a player, uh, you can do this a couple ways. You can write this big story. If that's your process, that's fine. There's no problem with that, but realize that's mostly for you. The GM is going to probably read it, but they're not going to have as they're not going to have that much. They're not going to care that much about it, honestly. What a GM can take from this and is the high points and the actionable items in your background to add them to their campaign. So, for instance, if you are um, you have some sort of, you hear all this, the mysterious past of someone. They're an orphan, stuff like that. That's kind of cliche, but it's a good example. Who are their parents? Is it something interesting? Did something happen? And the GM can kind of, add that into their game to give, players buy-in to their campaign of like something that's cool for their character. You can also do if you're not, you don't have to write a big, huge plot about your character either. Just, bullet points are sufficient, really. Um, you can do bullet points, and then, if they're actionable items, interesting things about your character. It could be, their past, their vocation, their personality. That personality is not that big of a deal because they'll see that through role play as you go. It's really more of things that an actionable item is what I call them. So things that they can bring into, the game that you can do things with. So for instance, I'm running a Imperial Maledictum game, and one of this is a prelude to, or I'm sorry, we had a Dark Heresy game we ran before. I ran before, and some things happened, but this could all be written background too. So one of the characters is from a feral world, and he got into some shenanigans and he killed a rogue trader somehow. And so now the rogue trader is hunting him in this game. So um, you can have things like, oh well, my character killed so and so or whatever, and that now they're hunting him. Um, and you can use those specific aspects as a GM to really bring players into your game. If you give some huge overarching plot and narrative about the saving the world or whatever it's going to be for you, you're not going to get as much buy-in on that if their characters aren't connected to the world somehow. And using that background to connect your characters to the world and whatever plot you're doing, if you can make that work too, perfect. And so I think that's a really great way for both parties to explore their background and really kind of grab the player and make them, more connected, more fulfilled in your campaign, and that sort of thing. And whatever your process is as a player, to kind of understand what character you're playing, I think at least doing some level of background is appropriate and helpful. I know there's some people that just go in completely blind and don't have any background at all for a campaign. I don't know. I'm not saying anything's right or wrong. I'm just saying if you have something in your background besides, hey, I'm a level one fighter, then that's going to make it a lot easier for you and the GM to kind of pull you into the game. So keep that in mind. Just some ideas for GMs and players. And I hope these are actually helpful for you guys. And so, yeah, the way this, maps to heroes and hardships is, in character creation, one of the things, one of the steps is determine your background and with the help of the GM. So, working together with your GM to see what fits their world or whatever, setting you're playing is very important. And that way, you guys can have a, you know, you can work together on what works best for you and brings your character into the game. And I think as a GM, it's very rewarding to see these things happen for players and them getting to, put their, ideas and work into action instead of just kind of glossing over them. And I think that's very important for a good game. Everybody should contribute, and I don't think it should be just the GM's world and like the players are just living in it, right? Um, and this goes for things that happen in game too. If they want to, explore something in game, I suggest going with it, right? Because um, and still like doing your plot, right? There's no, a sandbox is very easy for this if you're running like a sandbox adventure, but if you have a theme, a setting, a plot, those things can derail that a little bit, but I think that's okay to let them, explore what they want to do. So this is an idea. I don't want these videos to run too very long. So I thank you for watching. Remember, you can get Heroes and Hardships, the universal role-playing game, at fifegames.com. The link will be down in the description. Feel free to join us on Discord as well. That link will be also in the description. And we can talk more about this kind of thing. And I plan on doing these videos every once in a while. So thanks for watching.